Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going fabulous and your weekend is off to a crafty start. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to create a card for Newton's Nook Designs. We're using a brand new stamp set over at the Newton's Nook Design shop. This was part of their April release. If you guys haven't had a chance to check it out, so many fun items over here. We're going to be playing with the Gnome Garden Stamp set today, and I do have the coordinating die set. And then we're also going to bring in a few extra items, and I'll list everything below if you guys want to check it out. I'm going to stamp my gnome on some alcohol marker friendly cardstock with my Memento ink, and then we're going to color in our images with Copic markers. There's 3 gnomes in this stamp set and they are just adorable. I chose the one with the gnome holding the flower. I'm going to actually turn that little flower into a daisy. I thought it'd be fun. I love daisies anyway, so we stamped him, and then I'm going to go ahead and take the little butterfly that's in the stamp set. There's a ladybug, but recently I did a ladybug card, so I thought, well, better go with the butterfly. It's just this cute, so I stamped that as well. I'm going to zoom in, play a little bit of music while I color, and I did list my Copic markers in the top right corner for you guys, but when I'm done coloring, I will catch you back. Okay, coloring is all done. Now, even though his little hat doesn't have stripes on it, I went ahead and just used my Copic markers to create my own little stripes. You could do this with polka dots. Sky's the limit when you have an empty little gnome hat. I'm going to go ahead and take the coordinating dies and die cut out my gnome and also the cute little butterfly here. We're going to run this through the die cutting machine. And you know what, while we're die cutting, I'm going to also bring in another die set from Newton's Nook Designs. Love this die set. It's called the Flower Trio die set. There's a flower in here that looks like a daisy. So I'm going to take this and I want to create a daisy background with it. So we're going to die cut it out 6. I think we need 6. We might need more, but if I do, I'll just die cut out some more. And I'm just going to die cut it out with white cardstock. I'll take the little leaf and die cut that with green cardstock, and then there is a flower center that I want to die cut out with my yellow cardstock. Now once everything is die cut, I decided not to use my green leaf. I thought we'd just go full-blown daisy background. I think that would be really fun. We're going to add a little dimension to the daisies by putting a foam square in the middle of each one of them, and then if you and then I'm going to pop up those little yellow flower centers right in the middle. Just a little dimension. You don't have to do this. You could actually do it the reverse. If you wanted to pop up the daisies and then just add the flower centers with glue, I think that would look just as cute. But I opted for this this way, just the flower centers being popped up. Okay, we're going to set these aside and work on our background. I want a little bit of a color for my background, so I'm bringing in some Distress Oxide inks. I have 3 colors. I want to kind of coordinate with my little yellow and green gnome, so we're going to ink blend Mowed Lawn on the very bottom of some Bristol Smooth cardstock. I'm going to go about a 1/3 way up with my Mowed Lawn, and then I'll bring in my Twisted Citron. I did want to bring in a yellow. I thought Squeezed Lemonade would be really good, but sometimes Squeezed Lemonade Distress Oxide is pretty similar to my Twisted Citron. So I thought we'll go in with a Tumbled Glass, bringing in a blue sky background. I'm going to bring up that Twisted Citron just a little bit, and I'm going to prevent some icky fingers. So I'm going to stop and go grab my Post-it note tape, and then this way I can keep a hold of my paper without getting inky fingers or fingerprints on my background. We're going to fill the entire area. And I think this color combination looks really nice for a ink blended background. Let's grab that Post-it note tape so it can stick on our fingers. I like to put the Post-it note tape directly on the card or on the panel, and then put the sticky part on my fingers. This way I could lift it up and turn it. Just makes it easier. We'll finish off with our Tumbled Glass. And I did get a little bit of my Twisted Citron in there towards the top, but that's okay. We're going to be trimming it down just a little bit. So there's our background. I am going to spray it with some water. I have a spray bottle that is my Distress sprayer. We just added some water droplets, and I'll pick up the excess with my towel here. And I am going to take my heat gun, and we're going to dry this panel so we can continue on. Clean off our work surface here. Okay, once we have our panel all nice and dry, I'll take my paper trimmer and we're going to trim this panel into a 2-inch strip. I'm only going to use the 2-inch strip, so that other piece you can save for another project, or make 2 of them, which is really nice. This is a pretty easy card to recreate twice. For my background, I do like stitched in a little bit of detail, so I'm going to bring in the largest die in the framework die set. It has a postage edge outline, and then it does have stitch detail, which is really nice. My panel is going to go just on the inside of that stitch detail, and we'll trim that a little bit later. In the meantime, I only cut out 6 of my flowers, and I wanted flowers showing on the left and right. So we're going to end up trimming some of these in half, and it works out really pretty. I'm going to go ahead and add 1 flower to the bottom, take another one, and we're going to trim it in half. When you do this, you want to make sure you go straight down the center. Even when I added foam adhesive, it cut beautifully, but I'll go straight down the center, and then we can add these to the edge of our panel. I'm going right up to the postage edge with the flowers that I cut in half, and then the larger flowers I did overhang off of the postage edge. I went ahead and popped up my panel here and trimmed it down so it fits again just inside the stitched line detail. I popped it up with some fun foam that's adhesive backed. I'm going to remove the flower center from that daisy because I want this to be more towards the right. I'm going to end up actually flipping my panel around so that blue is on the very top. So our wider edge is on the left here. We'll go ahead and add some more daisies here. I do want a couple of daisies on top of my panel, and I want to keep them whole. So I think one's going to look great on the very bottom, and then I think one's going to look great on the very top right here. And then the rest we'll just trim in half and fill in that background. Now once I'm happy with this, we need a sentiment. So I'm going to bring in my thought bubbles. I thought it'd go perfect because I can overhang off of my distressed background. For my sentiment, I chose the one that says there's Gnome-one like you. I think that's just adorable. We are going to stamp that on one of our speech bubbles. This is from the Newton's Nook Designs speech bubble die set. It seems like all the sentiments Newton's Nook Designs has fit in these speech bubbles, and I just love that. So I stamped that with my black ink, and we are going to add this just above the gnome, overhanging on the left side of our distress panel. I did have to double up on the foam adhesive so it's nice and even. So I have 2 pieces of foam adhesive on the left of my sentiment, and then 1 on the right. I went ahead and add my gnome where I want to put him, and then I had 1/2 of a daisy left. I went ahead and add that to the bottom of my panel there. We're going to pop up our little butterfly here. That's going to go, I think we're going to put on our little speech bubble, but then opted for just above it. We'll take our little gnome, and then we are go ahead and add him with foam adhesive also. Now last but not least, I'm going to go over the flower centers with my diamond stickles, and then that finishes off my card today, guys. Pretty easy card, but I love this little gnome set. I think it's nice and cheery, a nice little friendship card. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Have a fabulous day, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.